Good afternoon. My name is Ifeoma Ezechukwu. I am the creative director. I'm not the CEO. I'm the creative director of Kitchen Pastries. And just for information, Kitchen Pastries has been in existence for more than 20 years. And we create cakes. If you are on Instagram, you can check us out very fast right now. Kitchen Pastries, we're on Instagram, we're on all the socials. And I'm here today to talk about consistency. Sometimes, somebody said to me, you've done this thing over and over and over again for more than 20-something years. Why is it that anytime I see your product, it's different? There's something different about a particular product that you have done. And when Reverend Ifeanyi reached out to me and he says, Sister Ife, I need you to come and tell them those secrets. And I try as much as possible to write them down. Because if I don't write down, I'm a storyteller. I can keep you people here telling all long stories. You know, people that preach the word, oh no, sometimes when they start, you'll be sitting down and saying, can this person just finish? Let's go. So I'm trying very hard to always write down. And I said that consistency is often misunderstood as repetition. Doing the same thing over and over again. But the kind of consistency I'm actually going to talk to you about today is the consistency that produces success. And it hinges on your intelligence, being dynamic, and being intentional. Because I've also come to realize that a lot of business people, a lot of people are not intentional when it comes to whatever it is that they do. So consistency, I'm going to give you 3 to 6 types of consistency that I've written down that has helped my business and is still helping my business. One of it is consistency of vision. So when I say that, what I mean is when you have direction over routine. You know, routine can be that you're a chin-chin seller, let's take for example. And then you've known how to make chin-chin. And then the chin-chin you know how to make is just one variant of chin-chin. Maybe the normal vanilla chin-chin. And then every day you show up. Every day you come to that store to supply them that chin-chin. Every day. You supply them the same thing every day, every month, every year, every day. What you are basically doing is you are not actually having a good direction and a very good routine. When you keep doing that every time, consistently, every morning, they said you have to be consistent to make money, right? So consistently, you are bringing this particular chin-chin to this person at 50 naira. If you move slightly away by saying, oh, things are expensive, I'm now going to supply it to you at 70 naira. That person will react and your buyers will react. What you are doing over time is you will not grow. But the consistency we're talking about is when success begins, when your action consistently points to the same direction, even if the action themselves evolve. So I'll still go back to that chin-chin. So do you know that you can still, with that chin-chin, do different types of chin-chin? You can do cinnamon chin-chin. You can do gradually increasing. So what happens is you do the plain chin-chin for 500 naira, and then you do another type of chin-chin, another flavor, and then it's 100 naira. Am I making sense? So you are still doing that 50 naira one, but you have changed, but it is still chin-chin. Am I making sense? It is still chin-chin. It is still the same value. It is still the same quality, but you have evolved. So that way, when customers come, they are not only just looking at vanilla chin-chin, they are also seeing another one and they say, oh my goodness, I need to try this. Do you understand it? So when many people, the reason why many people fail is not because they are not working hard. Listen to it. It's because their efforts are scattered. What are the scattered efforts? Today, they chase trends. It's amazing. You know, sometimes this Instagram and Facebook, all these socials, have made people actually lose focus. I have seen people, when they go to my page, Kitchen Pastries, they see that we do a lot of things. We do cakes, we do chops, we do pastries, and then that person thinks, oh my God, this woman is collecting all the money, I will start it. Without knowing that it has taken us how many years to gradually grow. When you are okay with this one, it's time to evolve. What is the need of the people around you at that moment? You evolve. Making sure you are still staying on the vision. So when you switch strategies and you lose focus, what happens is your vision remains stable. So what you're going to do is you're going to get confused. You're going to look at this person, look at that person, and forget the reason why you started that business at the same time. So for our brand in Kitchen Pastries, what we do is, even as much as we have diverted into doing some things like the pastries, like the healthy options, like the cakes, we still did not lose our vision. And what is Kitchen Pastries' vision? It is about premium experiences. It's about giving quality. It's giving the premium presentation. Anytime we show up, you will definitely know that Kitchen Pastry showed up. We don't just do it anyhow. And that is what consistency is all about. So consistency is not about jumping from one place to the other. Consistency is about making sure that you're giving value, that you're consistently giving that presentation that people see and identify. The second type of consistency I want to talk about is consistency in excellence. Our slogan in Kitchen Pastries is Kitchen Pastries, passionate about your experience. When I started, it was Kitchen Pastries is passionate about your cake experience, because we started only with cakes. And if we say we are passionate about it, what it meant was every cake that will leave our bakery must be very good. Must be very good. No dents. You will not, oh my God. If you check us out, go back. We never will give anything that is below quality, because that is one of our visions. And our vision is to make sure we give standard. So excellence is not an event, it's a standard you must refuse to drop. I'll give you an example. Quickly. When I start telling stories, just raise your hand so that I'll go back to my... last week, I don't exercise on Saturdays, but I don't know how the Holy Spirit led me to go for an exercise on Saturday, where I normally go for my walks. As I was leaving, I wanted to go through my cafe. Holy Spirit said, go through Opera Square. And immediately, and I kept saying, but why would I want to go through a crowded place? But immediately I drove through Opera Square. In the middle of it, Holy Spirit said, this is where you sell your bread. And I said, wow. And today, this was happening last week. Today, we went in there to sell our bread. And before I came out, my manager said, oh, we took 40 loaves of bread there and 40 cake bread rolls. And my manager said, oh, it's remaining 20 and 15 of the other ones. And he said to me, but ma, they are saying the price is high. And I said to him, anytime you want to give me, because he's still learning about Kitchen Pastries, anytime you want to give me feedback, do not mention price anymore. I said, this is the first time we're going to Opera Square, and we have sold almost half of what we took there. So the people that is complaining about price, either they can afford us or they can't afford us. And I am not going to come down on my price, because I'm not going to compromise on the quality of stuff that we do. So what happens is when our product goes out there, the people that understand quality, the people that can afford it, will buy it. The ones that cannot afford it, will say all sorts of things, but your focus remains that you have to give excellence consistently. And I said to him, calm down. By next week, by next other week, that will start selling out. Beginning of the year, when this 7.5 VAT came out, and at the cafe, we're already a bit pricey. And at the cafe, we had to include VAT, and we increased by 5%. The first week, we know the target every day. The first day, people came in, assuming I was making 100 naira, we did not make up to 30 naira the first day. Second day, we did not make up to 30 naira. My staff all came to me. They were agitated, and they said, ma, what are we going to do? Do we remove this VAT, and do we remove this increase? And I said, why would we want to do that? Are we here? We're here to give service, at the same time make profit. And I said to them, calm down. Our customers know already that we give value. They are going to react for now, but just give it time. 1 week, 2 weeks. As I'm talking to you now, they are not feeling the price anymore. Under 3 weeks, this thing came back to what it's supposed to be. What am I saying in effect? I heard Pastor say something. When you have value, you do not care. You do not shake. When you start shaking is when you do not understand the quality and the value of service you bring. It is not pride. It is not pride. It is the confidence that comes from the fact that over the years, you know yourself. You know the product. When people come to me and they say, kitchen paste, I hope, I say, no, don't worry. Until you eat it, then you will know. So consistency in excellence is about standard, not mood. You know, since yesterday night, I've been ill, and this morning, I lay on my bed and I said, do I call Reverend and tell him that I won't be able to come? And I thought about it and I said, for him to invite me, there is somebody or some people that God wants to change. So I'm going to hold it down and then I'll come. And I said to him, I hope you people will have sanitizers, because once I handle the mic, if another person handles it, that person is going to get cold, or, So what am I saying in effect? It is not a mood. It is a standard. As I was finished talking to him, a customer called me and said, ma, do you know I ordered a cake and I forgot about it? The next thing I was supposed to tell him, we don't work on Sunday, so we can't give you a 3-tiered cake that is costing a lot of money for Monday morning. But when I remember that we need is not about me, it's about giving that service, I told her, give me 5 minutes. And then I called my team and I said, are we able to do this? I will not be there, you people will do it. They said yes, and we did it. So when we talk about excellence, we are not talking consistency in excellence. We're not talking about today you feel like it, the next day, let's just do it anyhow. Or you tell your workers, just do it anyhow. Cake, you cannot broke cake, 10,000. Nah, man, even if you are buying 1,000 naira worth of cake from us, in as much as we don't have 1,000 naira worth of cake, but even if you are buying 1,000 naira worth of cake from us, we give it the same vibe we give if you are buying 1 million naira worth of cake. Am I making sense? So it is a standard for us. It is not a mood. It is not possible. Anyone can produce cakes. Anyone can produce chin-chin. Anyone can produce anything. But when you produce the same standard, you start becoming lazy about it. So when the order is small, so how do you test if you're consistent in excellence? It's only when the order is small, when nobody is looking at you, when it's not a large order, that somebody will call and say, kitchen pastries, I want you to come and set up breakfast for us for 10 people. I won't go like, me, I'm not coming, no. But we'll always advise them, the smaller, the more expensive. But we'll show up. If you see how we'll carry all our ngongo and come and set up, you will think that person paid us 1 million, and we will set it up, and the person will be happy. So when you want to test your excellence, test when you get tired, what do you do? When the order is small, what do you do? When nobody is looking, When you feel, oh, it's not the governor, oh, it's not Babangida, it's not this person, it's not this man that has money, it's just somebody. But let me bust your bubble. Do you know that most of the people that pay us big money are the people that when they walk in, you will not know that that person has money? So you can imagine if your consistency, your excellence is based on looks. If you do that, then you are not yet started. The third consistency we're going to talk about is diligence. Showing up when it's not convenient. This is the least glamorous but most powerful layer. Showing up. You must show up. I don't do madam in kitchen pastries. I have over 33 staff. I do not do madam. I show up. Even if that person is paying us little money, I go with my staff, we set up. If you see how I'll be sweating, setting up, you'll be thinking, I show up. I make sure it is done well. So diligence means showing up when you don't feel inspired, doing the small repetitive tasks that compound over time, maintaining discipline in operation, staff management, and quality control. That is one of the things we don't joke with. You know, sometimes they always say that staff, if you're not careful, can mar or make your business grow. I'm standing here with you people talking. I didn't go to the office yesterday, except in the morning, because I was ill. But operations were on. Things were working because there is a system, there is a structure. So what it means is, the system and the structure we have in place is every staff know their duty. Every staff know that before 8 every morning, that the people at the bakery the different departments have taken everything that they must sell at the cafe into the car. So anytime the driver hoots the horn and it's 8:20 and you don't bring it out, the driver moves and then you have to take your own money and send it to the cafe. So there are systems in place. At the same time, we have systems to reward staff. So these are the things that you do to protect yourself, protect your business, and protect your staff. So if you don't have a disciplined way of making sure that things work well, not when you do this, like my staff warned me the other day and said, Ma, please, anytime you want to give discount or prizes, please do let us know first. Because sometimes I'm getting old now. Sometimes I forget what my price is. Somebody was asking me, how much are you selling a box of 50 Ghana bonds? I just said to her, oh, please, can you hold on? Let me find out. And she said, is it your staff that are telling you the price? I said, no, it is the system. I don't know. And you know what they do? Anytime I make that mistake, they refer, if the customer has paid, they will send back that money, show me the stuff, and write, Ma, you are owing us the balance. Assuming I made a mistake of 10K, I will pay it though. There was a day I had to pay 50K. That was the day I sat down and I said to myself, Ifeoma, never again. I must ask them. They must tell me before I tell the customer. Other than that, they must make sure I pay that money. So when consistency becomes diligent, when you are diligent in it, you will not eat your profit. You will not eat your eguisi. You will not eat, your husband cannot come into it. Your wife cannot come into it. Your husband cannot tell you, babes, hey, babes, please, can you send this one? I'll pay you later. I'll tell him, no. No, babes. Payment validates order. Do you know, I will shut down that bakery. I said, well, you can go ahead. Because once I send it to my staff, they must demand the money. And if I say go ahead, I must pay it. So when you understand that this is business. Family, I love my husband, I love him more. I love my children. You will not even understand. My children walk into the cafe and they pay. My daughter said the other day, she's in Lagos, Mommy, I want 20 pieces of your pepper chicken. This thing they are doing in Lagos, I don't like it. 20 pieces of pepper chicken, blah, blah, blah. As she was sending the orders, I was forwarding to the front desk. They were forwarding back to her how much she will pay and how much is DHL to Lagos. And she told me, how about mommy? Am I not your daughter? And say, is there any discrepancy? You are still my daughter. So all this money, I said, that's what you wanted. If you are in Lagos, wouldn't you pay it? So do you understand what I'm saying? So to them, they already know. Everybody knows. But if I want to give a gift, I pay for it and I give a gift. So what am I saying in effect? When you understand that consistency involves diligence, you make sure that motivation does not fluctuate. You make sure that discipline stabilizes. If your staff are always coming late and you decide that today, you shout, I've also come to realize that Nigerians like when people shout at them. What staff do not like is when you touch their money. True or false? So I sat down. Every day I'll be screaming, blah, 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 blah. So you know what I did? I sat down and I created a staff book, manual. And I made sure every of them read it. And I went to their salary because, you know, a worker deserves his wage, yeah? So I went to their salary and made sure I wrote all of them. If your salary is 70K, I'm giving you a bonus of 30. So basically, the least person in my bakery is earning 100K. That is my dishwasher, yes? So that my dishwasher, her salary is 70K. Her bonus from me is 30K. So when you mess up, I don't touch your salary. So before God and man, I'm standing right. I'll say to God, Mban, is there a crime? If all Olumolo be 70K, am I making sense? So from there, but let me shock you. After that, since January, 10 minutes, since January, there was minimal loss. Minimal. The manager will write you immediately. This is what they thought the first month, they thought it was a joke until they were not getting the full amount. The second month, everybody started behaving themselves. The fourth one, they said, I am 10 minutes. The fourth one is consistency in identity. How long have you been in business? Your identity is, who are you? Your brand is who you are. If you're a scatter person, that is what your brand will be. You cannot be a scatter person and expect your brand to be very together. It's about your tone, it's about the visuals, it's about customer service, it's about your brand. I get very excited when anytime I get a review and they said, oh, I walked into the place. Sometimes I will put up a picture of our cakes and somebody will say, oh my goodness, so I was right. You are the one that did that cake. Immediately I walked into the place and I saw the cake and they will say, there's no other person who would do it except Kitchen Pastries. And it gives me joy because what we stand for is what is on that cake. So when you understand that consistently, it's not today they will say, oh no, I'm not sure. Oh no, I'm sure. There was a time I walked into an event where we're supposed to set up our cake. And I walked into that event and I saw the decoration. And then I said, oh, did they change the event planner? And they said, no. I said, the person I know that is supposed to decorate this hall is not the person decorating this hall. And they said, no, it's the person. I said, it's a lie. And then I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, is it true you are the one decorating this? He said, yes. I said, what's going on? And he said to me, they didn't pay much. And I said to him, do you understand that when people come in, it's not about whether they paid much or not. What is written there is your brand. And you have taken that job. If they didn't pay much, don't take the job. You are compromising on your brand. He said, oh, he did see it. I said, no, because when I walked in, I could not believe because he used to give premium service. I said, so At the end of the day, if you agreed on a particular price, go and represent your brand. It's not about anybody again. Sometimes when we put up these things, people think that we are making a lot of money. No, it's our brand. Because the more you are putting it, when another person who can afford you sees that, what do? They will definitely come to you. The seventh one is the compound effect of consistency. I'm rounding up. Consistency is not loud, but it's powerful. When you repeat actions daily, weekly, monthly, over time, it results to market leadership. It results to a lot of things. It results to converting to money. People will always say, kitchen pastries is because these other type of people, it's because these other people are patronizing them. And then I will laugh and I'll say to myself, where we make our money is from individuals, not even from corporations. Because individuals will come once in a while. But individuals understand the value that we bring. Consistency is not about doing the same thing. It's about becoming the same person. It's about being committed. It's about being disciplined. It's about being excellent regardless of the situation. Your habits will shape your actions. So what I'm going to say to you right now is, what is your habit? Let's move away from being a business owner. What about, I can see children, students. What is your habit? Are you always present when your teacher or your lecturer is lecturing? What is that habit? If you understand that if you come to class every day, consistently, Nigerians, it's sad that sometimes when we mention God, somebody will say, don't involve God in this. But you don't understand that if we say we are children of God, there must be the spirit of excellence. You must sit down and represent Christ well. So when we start talking about God, they'll say, leave these people don't know what they're talking about. But God is not lazy. At the same time, whatever it is you have in your hands, he was talking about skill. Whatever it is you have in your hands, don't do it normal. I don't do normal things, though. I don't do things because other people are doing it. I sit down and I reason to myself. I'm about to do a different variant of my chin-chin. NAFDAC has given me NAFDAC number. But if NAFDAC has given me NAFDAC number, I'm not just going to do my normal chin-chin that sells out. I'm now including a different variant, but still the same quality. Somebody gave us a testimony and said, my Ghana bonds, I introduced my Ghana bonds 20 years ago. And this person came from, traveled, has not been around, came this January, and said, Kitchen Pastries, I remember that Ghana bonds we used to buy from. He said, yes, we have Ghana bonds. And he said, okay, give me. We delivered. He called me on the phone and said, Madam Kitchen Pastries, tell me the truth. How do you do it? I laughed and I said, system and consistency. When you have the proper system in place, what it means is, even when a new customer comes, when a new staff comes, it follows the system. When whatever it is, I cannot stay and my staff will go to Abia State and I'll just say, hey, let them go and do it. No, even if I'm not there with them in Abia State, at every stage, we are doing a video call. Oh yeah, show me. No, don't do it this way. Oh no, do it that way. Oh no, do it this way. The first time they went to Abia State to represent us when the governor they wanted us to set up breakfast, I did not go. But this is what the governor's wife wrote. Value for money, beautiful. I wasn't there. But online, I made sure that they represent what we stand for. So when it comes to you, what are you representing consistently? How are you involving? Still making sure that the vision you have is to make sure you give premium service. So the vision, first of all, started with kitchen pastries, cakes. Now we do cakes, we do chops. During COVID, we had to introduce salads and fresh juices. Now from fresh juices, we started introducing different types of drinks, and they are all selling out. It is by the grace of God, but at the same time, it was hard work and consistency. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, man.